The city never slept, but on this night, the rooftop of the Kane Industries tower seemed more alive than ever. The sound of the helicopter's blades chopping through the wind was like a war drum, echoing across the skyline. Alexander Kane, a billionaire industrialist with salt and pepper hair and the kind of presence that made people step out of his way, buttoned his navy blue overcoat and walked towards the chopper. He had built an empire on steel, aviation, and influence every inch of his life planned to perfection. Tonight was supposed to be routine. A quick helicopter ride to his estate on the bay, a glass of aged whiskey, a few confidential calls to international partners. But the night had other plans. As Alexander reached the edge of the helipad, the spotlight from the helicopter illuminated a lone figure darting out from the shadows. It was a young woman. Her dark skin glistened under the artificial light, her eyes wide with terror and her braids whipping in the wind as she sprinted towards him. Her voice cracked through the roar of the blades. "Don't get in the helicopter." Sheer desperation in her tone was chilling. For a moment, Alexander froze, one polished shoe hovering mid-step. His security team reacted instantly, pulling out their weapons, surrounding her with sharp commands. "Step back. Stay where you are." She didn't flinch. Her chest heaved as she shouted again, louder this time, her words cutting through the chaos. "If you get in that helicopter, you'll never come back alive." The rooftop seemed to fall silent, even though the blades still thundered overhead. Alexander narrowed his eyes. He was not a man easily rattled, but something in the girl's trembling voice struck a nerve he couldn't explain. "Who the hell are you?" he demanded, signaling his men to hold their fire. The girl's name was Amara, though she didn't say it yet. Sweat streaked down her temple as she took a step closer, pointing directly at the helicopter. "They've rigged it. The whole flight is a trap. If you board, it'll explode before you even clear the skyline." The pilot inside the cockpit looked puzzled, tapping the glass as if to say, "What is this nonsense?" His security chief growled, "Mr. Kane, don't listen to her. She's trespassing. Let us handle it." But Alexander didn't move. His mind raced. In his world, betrayal was currency, and traps were always set for men like him. But how could this stranger know? Amara's eyes burned with urgency. "You don't know me, but I know them. I know what they've planned for you tonight. Please, don't get in." Security tightened their circle around her. One guard raised his radio, calling for reinforcements. Alexander tilted his head, studying her like a puzzle piece that didn't fit, but refused to be ignored. "Why should I believe you?" he asked. Her lips trembled. "Because..." Paused, almost as if the next words would sign her death warrant. Then she spat them out. "Because I used to work for the people who want you dead." The rooftop air grew heavier, more suffocating, than the exhaust spilling from the chopper. The guards lunged at her, pinning her arms. She didn't resist. Her eyes stayed locked on Alexander's, silently begging him to understand. And in that suspended moment, with the night pressing in, and the blades chopping above, Alexander Kane felt the tiniest crack in his armor of certainty. Was this stranger saving his life, or pulling him into a deeper trap? Took one step back from the helicopter. The security chief barked, "Sir, with all due respect, get in now. We'll deal with this distraction." But Alexander raised a hand. No, the guards froze. He turned his sharp gaze back to the girl. "If you're lying, you'll regret ever stepping foot on this rooftop. But if you're telling the truth..." He exhaled slowly, as if making a decision that would alter everything. "Then someone in my own circle has betrayed me." The blades kept spinning. The city lights kept glowing, and for the first time in years, Alexander Kane didn't know if his next step would save him more, kill him. The guards tightened their grip on Amara, her arms locked behind her back. She winced, but her eyes stayed glued to Alexander, unblinking, pleading. "Sir," the security chief, Marcus Hale, growled, "this is a clear setup. She's distracting you. Let me put her in cuffs and get you on your way." Alexander didn't respond right away. Instead, he turned to the helicopter. The pilot was still waiting, looking irritated. The man had flown him across continents, through storms, even under military radar. Kane trusted him more than most people in his empire, but that was the problem. He had trusted too many, and trust was the currency most often weaponized against him. Alexander raised a hand. Shut it down. The pilot hesitated, then reluctantly cut the engine. The roar dulled into silence, and for the first time in minutes, Alexander could hear his own thoughts. Amara let out a shaky breath. You made the right choice. Don't thank me yet, Alexander muttered, stepping closer. You say you worked for the people who want me dead? Which people? Her lips parted, but Marcus barked. Sir, you can't honestly entertain this nonsense. Every second wasted here increases your risk. Alexander's gaze flicked to him. Marcus was a bulldog, loyal and dangerous, but Kane noticed. Something. His jaw was tight, his hands restless. A man eager to move things along. He's too eager. Let her speak, Alexander ordered. Amara's voice cracked. The men funding your rivals, the ones hidden behind your board, they planted people close to you. They knew you'd take this helicopter tonight. Her eyes darted toward the cockpit. That's not your pilot. The rooftop spun for a moment. In Alexander's mind, he blinked, staring at the man in the pilot seat. The build was right. The face seemed familiar. But when he looked harder, a sliver of doubt cut him. The pilot avoided eye contact, busying himself with switches, even though the engine was off. Alexander's blood chilled. His actual pilot captain. Reeves had a scar running down his left cheek. This man didn't. He stepped forward, voice thunderous. Who the hell are you? The man in the cockpit froze. The guards instinctively raised their weapons. But before anyone could move, the pilot threw open the door, yanked a small pistol from beneath the seat, fired. The rooftop erupted. One guard fell instantly, a bullet through his chest. Another returned fire, the echo ricocheting off. Glass and steel. The imposter ducked low, rolled across the helipad, and vanished into the shadows of the rooftop stairwell. Amara screamed, jerking against her restraints. I told you it was a setup. Shut her up, Marcus roared, pressing his radio. Lock down the building, find him. But Alexander wasn't listening anymore. His mind raced. Someone had swapped his pilot. Someone had known his schedule down to the minute. That wasn't an outsider's work. That was betrayal from the inside. He turned sharply to Marcus. Who else knew about this flight? Marcus didn't flinch. Only your executive assistant and me. That's it. Sir, we need to move you now. Mara's voice sliced through. Again, no. Don't you get it? The one closest to youth, the one you trust most, is the one selling you out. Her words echoed in the cold night air. Alexander studied Marcus. His security chief's face was a mask of professionalism, but Alexander had built empires on reading men. There was a flicker in Marcus's eyes, panic disguised as urgency. The guards held Amara firm, waiting for their orders. For the first time in years, Alexander Kane felt his world tilting. Uncertain who in his circle wanted him alive, and who was already burying him. Marcus stepped forward. Sir, she's manipulating you. We don't have time. Let me take you downstairs. Amara thrashed against the guards. Don't go with him. If you do, you'll never make it out of this building alive. The rooftop lights buzzed overhead. The city sprawled below, glittering, indifferent. Alexander Kane's choice in that moment could mean life or death. The rooftop descended into chaos. Guards scrambled to secure the stairwell where the fake pilot had vanished. Radios blaring as reinforcements rushed up through the building. The downed body of Kane's loyal guard still bled into the concrete, a red pool spreading beneath the neon city glow. But Alexander Kane wasn't thinking about the dead. His mind churned like a storm. Someone had orchestrated this attempt. Someone inside. Amara's eyes locked with his as she fought against the guards holding her. Please, if you don't believe me, check the flight logs, the pilot schedules, your communications. You'll see it. I'm not lying. Marcus stepped between them, barking orders. Sir, we need to move you to the panic suite until the building's secure. Let me take her off your hands. But Kane raised a hand. No, she stays. Marcus's jaw tightened, his teeth grinding. Sir, she's the reason this chaos even. She's the reason I didn't get in that helicopter. Kane cut him off sharply. If she hadn't warned me, I'd be dead already. Silence pressed between them, heavy, dangerous. Kane turned to his guards. Bring her with us, and keep her alive. Anyone touches her answers to me? The guards hesitated, then obeyed. Amara's expression flickered with a mix of relief and fear. The group descended from the rooftop, moving into the elevator bay. But even as the steel doors closed, Kane felt the walls tightening around him. He could almost hear the city's pulse through the glass and empire built on his name. And yet tonight, he wasn't sure how much of it was truly his. When the elevator reached the 40th floor, his executive suite, Kane ordered everyone out except Amara. His guards balked. But one icy glare was enough. The doors shut again, sealing. Kane and the trembling girl in the velvet-trimmed room. Kane circled her like a predator. Talk fast. Who exactly do you work for? Amara swallowed. Not anymore. I escaped. But once I worked for the network. The Syndicate. Kane froze mid-step. The Syndicate, a name whispered in boardrooms, feared in governments, denied in public. They were a faceless machine, toppling corporations, installing puppet COOs, laundering billions. Kane had fought them for years, though he'd never proven their existence. Now, this girl, this intruder, claimed to have come from their ranks. You're telling me, Kane said slowly, that the Syndicate has infiltrated my company? Amara nodded. Deep, you think your enemies are on the outside? They're not. They're in your boardroom. They control your contracts. They knew every move you'd make tonight. Kane studied her face. She looked young, no more than 24, but her eyes carried shadows that spoke of knights running from monsters. Why warn me? He asked. Why not let them finish their job? Tears rimmed her eyes, though she held them back. 'Cause I've done things for them I can't undo. Blood on my hands. But if I could save even one person, the one man powerful enough to fight them, maybe I'd have a chance at redemption. Kane's jaw tightened. He wasn't a man who believed in redemption. But he knew sincerity when he saw it. And Amara's fear wasn't for herself. It was for him. Before he could respond, the suite's intercom buzzed. Marcus's voice crackled through. Sir, building sweep is secure. We've neutralized the intruder. Time to move you to the safe bunker. Kane hesitated, his finger hovering over the reply button. Amara grabbed his wrist. Don't, please. You don't get it. It's him. It's Marcus. It's one of them. Kane's breath caught. He'd known Marcus Hale for 15 years. The man had saved his life twice. Shared drinks, guarded secrets. But betrayal didn't come from enemies. It came from the trusted. Prove it, Kane demanded. Amara's hands trembled. As she reached into her pocket, pulling out a flash drive no bigger than a thumb. I stole this before I ran. It's got records, payments, assignments, orders. You'll see his name. You'll see all of them. Kane took it, his hands heavy. With suspicion, the intercom buzzed again, louder this time. Sir, are you there? We don't have time. Kane stared at the drive, then at the door. Then back at Amara. The war had come inside his walls, and he didn't know who would burst through that door first, his guards, or his executioners. Kane inserted the flash drive into his encrypted terminal. Amara leaned close, whispering urgently, Hurry, they'll know I stole it. The screen filled with files, transaction records, secret contracts, internal communications. Kane's heart thudded as he scrolled through pages of names, numbers, coded instructions, and then he saw it. Marcus Hale, his most trusted man. Receiving covert payments through shell corporations, logging coded updates to Central, coordinating Kane's schedules, the exact flight planned for tonight among them. Kane's mouth went dry. The man he'd relied on for years had been carving holes in his empire from within. The intercom blared again. Marcus's voice strained with forced calm. Sir, we need to leave, now. Kane yanked the drive out, pocketing it. His instincts screamed danger. Amara's voice was urgent. If you open that door, you'll never make it out alive. Kane stood tall, his decision made. He pressed the intercom button. His voice was, Steele, Marcus, come in. The door slid open. Marcus entered, flanked by 2 guards. His expression was unreadable. But Kane now saw the cracks. The micro-expressions of a man hiding something, sir. Marcus said smoothly. "The building's clear. Let's move." Kane studied him. "Clear, you say? Then explain this." He tossed the flash drive onto the desk. Marcus's eyes flicked to it, just for a second, but enough. His jaw clenched. His pupils shrank, Kane knew. "You betrayed me?" Kane said quietly, his voice dangerous in its calm. Marcus chuckled darkly. "I protected you longer than anyone else would have. But you grew too powerful, too unpredictable. The Syndicate doesn't tolerate wild cards." The guards at Marcus's side raised their rifles, aiming directly at Kane. Amara gasped, stepping in front of him instinctively. Marcus sneered. "Move her, she's nothing." Kane's eyes hardened. "She's the reason. I'm alive right now," Marcus tilted his head. "Then she dies first." The next second exploded in violence. Amara lunged, knocking one rifle aside as it fired, shattering glass. Kane grabbed the heavy brass paperweight from his desk and hurled it at Marcus, striking his shoulder. The room devolved into chaos gunfire. Shouts breaking furniture. Amara ducked behind the desk, yanking Kane with her. "There's a service exit behind the bookshelves," she shouted. Kane pressed a hidden switch. The shelves slid open, revealing a narrow steel passage. Without hesitation, they slipped inside, sealing it behind them just as bullets peppered the walls. The passage was dim, narrow, suffocating. Their footsteps echoed as they ran, Amara leading with surprising certainty. Kane's breath was ragged, his heart pounding with betrayal, rage, and adrenaline. Marcus's voice bellowed behind the walls, echoing, "You can run, Kane, but the city belongs to us. You'll never make it out alive." Kane wasn't thinking about dying. He was thinking about vengeance. End of Part 4. Cliffhanger. Kane confirms Marcus is the traitor. They barely escape through a secret passage as Marcus vows Kane will never leave alive. Asterisk the passage spilled them into the underground garage. Rows of sleek black cars gleamed under fluorescent lights. Kane staggered, catching his breath. Amara scanned the area. "They'll be coming. We don't have long." Kane pressed a button on his key fob. A matte black armored SUV roared to life. They jumped in, Kane behind the wheel. The engine growled as he tore out of the garage. The city blurred around them, neon and steel streaking past. But in Kane's chest, something burned hotter than fear. Betrayal had carved a wound, but it had also sharpened his resolve. "Where's their base?" he demanded, eyes locked on the road. Amara hesitated. "If I tell you, you'll never come back the same. The Syndicate isn't just a group, it's the system itself. Your board, your government contracts, your allies, they own them all." Kane's grip tightened on the wheel. "Then I'll burn their system down." Bullets shattered the rear window. Black SUVs appeared in the mirror, headlights glaring like predators. Marcus's men. Kane swerved, tires screeching as Amara ducked. "They'll never stop. You can't outrun them." Kane's jaw clenched. "I don't need to outrun them." He slammed a switch on the dashboard. The SUV's rear panels opened, releasing steel caltrops. The chasing vehicles swerved violently. Two, crashing into a divider. But one SUV remained Marcus's. Kane accelerated, weaving through traffic. Marcus pulled alongside, window down, rifle aimed. His voice carried through the wind. "You're finished, Kane. You can't fight shadows." Kane's eyes blazed. "Watch me." At the last second, he swerved, ramming Marcus's SUV into a concrete pillar. The vehicle flipped, sparks erupting as metal screamed against stone. Silence followed. Only Kane's SUV remained, speeding into the night. Amara clutched the dashboard, breathing hard. "You just made yourself their biggest target." Kane's lips curved into a cold, dangerous smile. "Good. Now they'll know I'm coming." She looked at him, eyes wide, realizing he wasn't just a billionaire anymore. He was a man with nothing left to lose, and the power to dismantle an empire. The city's skyline loomed ahead, vast and glittering. But to Kane, it was no longer his kingdom. It was enemy territory, and the war had just begun.